Hello, what's up my friends? This is Martin446 today with another tour review for you. Today we're having a look at the Prometheus figures from Neca. We're having a look at the engineer in his pressure suit. Awesome. Very awesome. I was very looking for these figures. And of course, being the fact that I'm living in the Netherlands, these sort of figures come later in our country if you compare to the USA or China. I think these figures are around in my country, I think 2 weeks, yes. And today I actually picked it up because I was today in a toy convention, which I always go in November and April. And I actually found this guy because Vision Toys, I think my favorite my favorite comic store in the Netherlands, had these figures in stock. So I actually found this guy on the shelf, and I actually picked it up on the convention itself, which is very cool. I picked also other things, but I will do a review on those as well. But very cool though. The engineer in his pressure suit. And some people will ask, Martin, did you ever see Prometheus? Oh yes, I did. I did. Not in the theaters, unfortunately, which I was very bummed about. But I've seen it on DVD because, well, a few days when it was actually released in the Netherlands. I've actually seen Prometheus in the first day of October, which is pretty funny. And I loved the movie. I thought that Prometheus was just an awesome movie. Ridley Scott did a phenomenal job with the effects, the way how the movie was installed, and everything. I thought the movie was great. And there are some haters out there which didn't like Prometheus, which is funny because when I was in the convention, I actually met up a guy that really did not like Prometheus. But I liked Prometheus a lot. And I thought that the engineers looked very cool as well. So yeah, that were kind of my opinions of Prometheus. I thought that Prometheus was a very nice movie. Loved it. Packaging wise, it's of course the same clamshell we always get from Neca, but now on a Prometheus type of theme, which is very nice. You get here engineer pressure suit, Prometheus, some stars, some planets, which is very nice. The packaging makes the figure really pop, really to pop, which is very nice. On the top you got Prometheus as well. On the back you see some, leather font of the engineers themselves and some helms and armors. I will show it later when I had to figure out the package, but there's no pictures on the side, which is something new. On the back, I see Prometheus. You see screenshots of the movie, which are in a kind of a Weyland-Yutani kind of type of theme, which is very nice. You can see here some screenshots, which is very nice. Really cool. Got a picture of the figure. And there's a read-up on there. Engineer pressure suit. Visionary filmmaker Ridley Scott returns to the genre he helped define, creating an original science fiction epic set in the most dangerous corners of the universe. Presenting a great new mythology linked to protonative strands of alien DNA, the film takes a team of scientists and explorers on a thrilling journey that will test their physical and mental limits and strand them on a distant world, where they will discover the answers to our most profound questions and life's ultimate mystery. And there you got Weyland-Yutani Corporations. I'm sorry. So that was packaging. Let's get this figure out of the packaging. So here we have the Neca engineer in his pressure suit out of his packaging, and this is an awesome looking figure. Again, Neca hit this figure out of the park. Seriously, this is such an amazing looking figure. I mean, seriously, the sculpt they put on the figure and the paint is top notch. It is absolutely top notch. And some people said that the color was a bit off on this figure and that it should have been a little bit more darker. I think it's fine. I think the figure looks really cool like this. And Neca did a fantastic job with the figure. Let's talk about the figure. Let's first focus on the face of the engineer. I think the eyes are so well done. They really brought the realistic tone into the figure, and they really brought, the glimpse in the eyes, which is very nice. The eyes looking very nice, I gotta say. You also can see, it's the same thing that what they did on the Rocky figures, is they put actually some, some gloss on the skin tone, so it looks more, kind of realistic. And Neca did a spectacular job with it. The lips are looking very nice, the nose is really cool. Well, being the fact it's kind of an alien, it's supposed to be like this. So the face is absolutely amazing. The body itself is really, really, really nicely sculpted. All the ridges, all the skin tone, it really brings the xenomorph kind of theme into the figure, which is very nice. And one thing that is pretty funny is the fact that this figure is actually pretty large in scale. Normally NECA figures are around 7.5 inches. This figure is around almost 8.5 inches. That is just as tall, if you gotta hold a second, just as tall as the NECA Predator figures. Maybe the Predator, well, it seems that the Predator is a little bit shorter wise, which is funny. I really like the fact that NECA made the engineer really large, because in the movie Prometheus, these kind of, of aliens were very large. Seriously, if you look at David compared to the engineer, wow. Seriously. That is also one thing I really like about engineers, is the fact they are really, really tall. But take a look at the back, and you see some more details on the figure. And NECA, of course, did an amazing job with it. Just look at it. Wow. Just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. I don't know what it is, but I think that, well, yeah, NECA is stepping really up their game. Since 2009, they really showed what they can with combining amazing sculpt, amazing paint, and great articulation. Yeah, that's also one of the reasons that NECA is my favorite toy company. But taking a look at the articulation of the engineer right here, he is loaded with articulation. The engineer right here has a ball-jointed head. You cannot really move it too well. You can not move it 360, but you can move it kind of up and down, side to side. It's a ball joint. The shoulders are articulated as a ball joint. You can move them in and out, all the way around. They're a little bit stiff and a little bit limited, but you can move them in and out if you want. There is the bend and swivel in the elbow, and surprisingly, the elbow does bend very far, which is very nice. You can bend the elbow, also rotate the elbow. The hands are on a ball joint, which is very nice. Also really like the sculpt in the hands. Look at that. You see some veins, some wrinkles. Very cool. He does have a diaphragm joint, which can move very well, I actually noticed. I really like the fact you can move the abdomen joint very well. I was thinking that you can't, move the mid-torso articulation that as much, but you can move it very far back and forth all the way around, which is very nice. No waist articulation, but the legs on the pin and socket ball joint. You can move them in and out. If you want to move them forward, you need to rotate the leg to move them forward. There isn't a thigh swivel, but you can rotate the knee. Also you can bend the knee. Also really like the fact that the joint is kind of hidden on the kneecap. And there is a ball joint in the ankle. So that's certainly loads and loads of articulation. This figure came with no accessories, which, makes kind of sense because Engineers doesn't really use weapons or something like that in the movie. The later figures that will come in the series will come with accessories, like the kind of prototype form, the Deacon form of the alien comes with something. David will be released, Holloway will be released, and all kinds of stuff, which is very nice. But the Engineer right here is a phenomenal figure. I highly recommend this figure for any Prometheus or Alien fans out there. This is just, I mean, seriously, what this figure so much excels is just the look and the detail and all kinds of stuff. This is it. This is it, people. This is awesome. This is an awesome engineer action figure. If I give this figure a rating, it will probably around a 9 or a 9.5. Somewhat around there. This is a fantastic figure in your collection, actually, I'm sorry. It's very large. It really pops into your collection if you collect figures like this. And it is a piece you need to have in your collection if you're a Alien fan or a Prometheus fan. But that was again a review for March 2046. And I'll see you guys next time with another review. Later!